that's 'cause singles.
My first like performance was actually at a funeral,
Mm.
singing Beyond the Sunset at 14. So it's like really heavy
That is heavy.
stuff as a child.
What a great first there here put yeah, that's a heavy first performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 'cause singles.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Chris.
So, as someone who didn't always fit in to one group, but found yourself fitting into a lot of different groups as a
Kind of.
kid and an adolescent and an adult, how do you think you were able to navigate authenticity inside each of these groups that didn't quite always fit your visual style?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't really know how to be anyone except who I am, as much as I try sometimes. I think as a kid, I tried to be what other people wanted me to be sometimes, if you know what I mean. Like, I understood that to be accepted, you were supposed to fit in with other people. But as hard as I tried, I just am who I am. Um, and the older I get, the more I understand that I have to be that kind of unapologetically. And that I think resonates more with people.
Hmm.
Or I guess it doesn't, and then they aren't my people. So I think the older I get, the more that I realize that's okay. And I'm great with that. When I was younger, that was harder. And that led to a lot of hurt feelings and loneliness and books, a lot of fictional friends, a lot of trees I talked to. But as a kid, I think it was harder, and I think that's what led me a lot to a lot of different social groups. I never really had like just one tight group because I struggled to find identity in lots of groups. And it was a good thing and a bad thing, right? I mean, I think it led me to become really adaptable. I'm a really kind of fluid person in I can fit into almost any group of people. And I think that served me pretty well through my whole life. I've never felt the need to conform, partly because I think being autistic, I literally don't know how. I just know how to be me. And that kind of bursts through at sometimes the most inopportune times.
Well, and I love that. And I think that resonates really well with our guest today, Rebecca Porter, who born in Guam, came over to the mainland to create kind of the local country queen of her
I
scene.
love this.
And it's amazing. Someone who doesn't care about conformity in any way and is wholeheartedly herself every
As she
day.
should be.
So we are excited to welcome Rebecca Porter into the CASSINGLES family. I am Chris Margolin.
And I'm Courtney Dawn.
Welcome to CASSINGLES, guys. Enjoy the ride.
It's going to be a wild one.
Sure will be.
Yeah, that's 'cause singles. Good morning. Welcome.
How you doing today?
I'm well. I just finished getting my son set up to hopefully be good.
No worries. We have two dogs that are a disaster. So life happens. Life happens.
Yeah, I was doing a meeting the other day, and then like all of a sudden you could just hear, "Ah!" Like nothing was wrong. He just,
Needs
that's
mom.
It's all right. Ours is 15, and
okay.
we'll still hear her occasionally scream that from downstairs. It's more the playing on Xbox and just getting way into that and forgetting that there's anything else going on in
Or
the house.
sending
Yeah.
50 text messages when she knows we're recording. We're like, honey, we're literally in the middle of a podcast. And she's like, but I really need, or could you do? And we're like, oh, yeah, right now is a great time.
Yeah. Now, how many of these have you done so far?
I think we have recorded
15?
15 of them. I think you're around probably
Oh,
number
that's awesome.
15. And then we got a little we had no idea what booking was going to be like for this because I don't know, like
It was kind of a pipe
we
dream.
didn't know. So our booking is now 100% filled through the first week of November.
Oh,
And
sweet.
then we have November and December off and come back in January, but it it's really cool.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And for us it's kind of proof of concept, the fact that we built this because we know that musicians create the greatest community. We know that as teachers, our students are missing out on learning sometimes because the stories, the essays, the things that, the sage on the stage is doing in front of the classroom is not getting through to them.
Yeah.
So, for us, this gives us an opportunity to not only kind of talk with real people about real things that happen to them in their lives through the lens of music, but it kind of gives us a little bit of hope that when Courtney, because Courtney writes a lesson for each of these, and we'll get there toward the end of this, but it gives us another avenue to say, hey, teachers, there really is a different method to do this.
Yeah.
And if you just bring in authentic music into the classroom, it changes worlds.
And then we also get to hear your story
Yeah.
and learn exactly how you ended up where you are. And I think for a lot of people, we never hear the kind of full picture. And sometimes in the classroom when we're working with kids, the idea of becoming a musician or an artist or things like that is this idea that isn't tangible.
Yeah.
And they don't know how, or it's one of those things, well, no, you're supposed to have like a responsible job. I remember when I was a
Yeah.
kid, like I wanted to be an artist or a musician, or a dancer. I was in ballet and stuff, but like in my mind, I had to go to college and be responsible, and
Yeah.
I'm autistic. And so I didn't know I was autistic back then, but like that little bug was in my brain. And so I didn't do any of those things because I was going to go to college and be a teacher and be responsible. And then I became disabled and couldn't do the responsible thing anymore. And so I'm living my trophy wife era where I get to do all the fun things that bring me joy. And it's brought me back to music and art. And now talking to musicians, it's this magical thing where I'm like, oh, tell us, how did it lead you to this beautiful thing that brings you joy?
Yeah.
And so we'd like to start at the beginning. What was it like for you as a kid? What were you like those first days, like entering school? What can you remember of it?
Let's see. I remember that I was ready for school. I wanted to be learning. I loved reading. I read early on, and so like I wanted to read. I always loved math. And it just like fueled my brain. Like I needed to be busy, and those things kept me busy. I loved like playing school, playing teacher. I would get those like green grade books that you can buy at like Walmart or the store. I would like have those and have like all my little fake grading
Oh,
books and
wow.
oh yeah. And I still have a little bit of an obsession with like office supplies, like pens and notepads and sticky
I have
notes.
so many.
Yes. And my planner, like I have a paper planner now that's color coded. But
I feel this.
like that's there was like that aspect of I wanted to be around other kids, but it was more so I liked being busy and doing things that I felt like entertained my brain.
Did you have parents who were educators, or
No,
where did the idea of
my
even playing school come from?
yeah. Um, I I mean, I was raised in church when I was young. Like I attended Independent Fundamental Baptist, and so like we always were in Sunday school. So I
Okay.
don't know if it was from that, but my parents were just. My dad worked in a factory, and then my mom worked as a secretary, like office assistant for a little while. And then later on, she worked at Lowe's as like a pricing coordinator, and now she works.
So they had pretty regimented jobs. So that
Yeah,
translated into you having kind of
yeah.
the need for organization and structure in
Oh, I
everything you
have
were
a
doing.
very deep core need for organization.
Some of us, our brains just function like that. I have
Yeah,
that need too. Like I want things to be ordered,
yeah.
and I love a color coded planner is everything for me.
I will show you a picture of our, like, this is my, well, will it show up? Maybe not. Oh no, it won't show up. Okay. My son is neurodivergent, and we have to like sit down and do a schedule in the morning now that he's out of school for the summer. And my partner was like, you get up every morning and like the first thing you do is you make this schedule. Like, it's okay to like give yourself a break and not do it. And we didn't do it for one day. And like that afternoon,
Oh,
I texted him and I was like, it has been hell today. Like,
Yes.
I know that maybe you don't understand or like get it, but like when we do the schedule, it just is like this almost like an internal whisper that just keeps playing of like, this is the schedule, these are the things that we
hmm
have to do. And it just makes it so much easier, especially with like screen time and things, that we don't just like end up like couch potatoes, which is totally fine to do, but some of his needs, like he needs to like be active and do heavy work and get energy out
This
and
sounds like our
it's
house.
our whole
And
family.
yeah.
You're speaking our
yeah,
language, lady. You're
yeah,
speaking our
We still
language.
wake up in the mornings, even with our daughter at, at 15, and like, okay, here's what's going on today. This is what, what you've got on the schedule. Tonight you've got this. Remember to do this, set an alarm for this.
And if it's not on the schedule,
Then it's,
oh,
oh man.
we better not
yeah,
have popped that up there
yeah,
because that's not a fair expectation then.
yes,
And then you have to just be prepared for what comes after. And
yeah,
I'm 46 and autistic, and good Lord, if you fucking drop something on me that you have not told me about, you better be prepared that I might I might react in a certain kind of way.
yeah,
And it
yes,
might take me a minute to calibrate and come back to myself. My husband's laughing.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. This is our whole life.
yeah, yeah, we
And
get it.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. A neurodivergent household is quite a fun and it's a good time.
Yeah.
When it's not, it can be a little chaotic and hectic,
Yeah.
but the creativity that flows on a daily basis is pretty epic.
Hmm.
So you gotta love that. So
what music were you
that
listening to when
that
you
was my
were
question too.
early in the like what music was coming into your household in those early years?
In the early years, like elementary school, beginning of middle school, we were primarily only allowed to listen to like gospel music and bluegrass music.
Hmm.
And then that started, my parents separated and divorced, and my stepdad came into the picture. He wasn't my stepdad at the time, but like he was nothing like the upbringing that I had thus far. And so it was like this big culture shock because like he listened to music I'd never heard before. We always could, my mom would like listen to Dolly Parton and like some big voices. But yeah, so early, like around 9, 10, like 7, 8, 9, 10 was when I really started like listening to other music and like, oh, there's this secular music that is like really good and I've never heard this before. And it's very like emotional in a much different way and isn't just like singing about Jesus and like going to heaven or hell. Um, so yeah, and then I started going to public school, which was also like a big culture shock. And I was in at the private school that I had gone to up until that point. Everybody was in chorus, which you just sang like hymns and church related songs. But then I would go to music class and like we were singing other songs. So I had that for a little while. And middle school, I definitely started getting like a little more angsty music. All American Rejects, I remember, were like a big band during that time. Good Charlotte was,
Oh yeah.
I went through my little middle school emo phase.
Yep.
It was either, so I grew up in rural Virginia. So it was either, I felt like it was either you were like emo or like super country, like hick music, which I honestly listened to like a little bit of both. And so I kind of like went back and forth. And then I was still going to church at that time. So then there was also like, I'd go to church and it was like very religious music. My, my first like performance was actually at a funeral,
Mm.
singing Beyond the Sunset at 14. So it's like really heavy
That is heavy.
stuff as a child.
What a great first there here put yeah, that's a heavy first performance.
Yeah.
How
But
did
the
you
emo
feel about
stuff,
that?
about singing at a funeral, um,
I
it was,
can't imagine.
yeah, it was very interesting. It was my great grandmother's, half sister or something. I can't exactly remember the relation. But I would sing what they called specials at church, and so like I would just get up in front of the congregation and like sing a song. So I was used to singing in front of people, and at that age, just like not understanding like the weight of the song that like I was asked to sing. And but also feeling kind of proud of myself for like getting up in front of a crowd of people and doing that. I Music and performance is still this way for me. It's much easier for me to get up and sing in front of people than I feel like it is for me to like socialize in the
Oh,
crowd.
I feel that so much. I mean, I've been doing music for 30 years, and music has been basically my main, other than teaching, has been my main focus of communicating with people, because
Yeah.
I can't do the walk around the crowd thing. I mean, I as soon as I'm done, I just go find Courtney, and I sit in like a little corner, or
I'm like his Linus blanket.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
understand it's a tricky world sometimes.
Yeah. Sick, kind of rewind a little bit. Sixth grade, I remember, was really influential for me as far as like writing my own music. I wasn't writing songs at that point because I didn't play any instruments or anything, but I had a reading and writing teacher who she had a prompt for us at the beginning of every class that we had to write for a certain amount of minutes. And her name was Miss Riddle. And for whatever reason, I decided that every class I was going to write a poem for the prompt. And so I think I've lost it now, but I had like a journal that had all of the poems that I wrote for
Oh,
like every single prompt that she had given.
Oh,
that's
I love
amazing.
that.
Yeah.
What a great mentor. I used to
Yeah.
do prompts with quotes and stuff, and I loved kids that would like take them that far, and to keep that is wonderful. I
Yeah.
found Chris's middle school,
Oh God,
his like middle school, is
my
it
notebooks, my
notebook from, and he let me read them out loud to him one night, and it was one of the most epic moments of our marriage. Is him,
Yeah.
without seeing it since middle school, let his wife read all of his lyrics back to him.
oh, they were
Talk about being laid naked. They were
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
some of the greatest songs ever, or some of the greatest songs never heard, are inside those notebooks.
I could never.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing.
Well, it got even better, because by the time you got to my high school journals, you got my song, and then you got my girlfriend at the time responding to that song. So it created quite the dialogue. It was after,
Did she respond to a song with a song
oh
or
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
Just
just
her feelings about
just her
it,
Okay.
feelings about it.
Okay.
which was
In
funny.
a very, very high
Really
school
ripping
way.
band-aids off.
Oh
Oh,
man.
absolutely. Naked, just naked. Nothing like a journal.
Yeah.
So, so then if you're thinking in poem structure and song structure a little bit when you're in sixth grade, when do you start putting a guitar in your hands, or what is your first instrument?
I always played around on piano. My grandmother
Okay.
played piano and organ. She played organ in the church. I had a guitar as a young adult and would just kind of like plink around on it. I had plenty of offers from sketchy individuals to give me guitar lessons. I used to sing on this locally taped TV show, and it aired on RFD TV for a while. It doesn't anymore. And the guitar player from the house band, who was like an older man, um, kept offering to give me guitar lessons. And then one time he texted me and was like, I'm happy to give you lessons. I can't meet up until like 10 o'clock, and we have to meet somewhere neutral. You can't come to my house. And I was like, oh, this is disgusting. Um, so there was also like this, do I want to play guitar? Because these are all like really weird interactions. Um, I didn't actually sit down and really learn how to play guitar until 2020,
Okay.
during the pandemic. I was at home. My son was about 6 months old when the pandemic started, and I was really struggling with postpartum and just being at home all the time. Parenthood looked a lot different than what I anticipated it to look like, because of the postpartum as well as the pandemic.
Pandemic. That would be so hard.
And so I just got it out and, had all these like thoughts and feelings that I was struggling to process. and just got the guitar out and I was like, maybe I can do this now. Maybe I have time for this now. And I started watching like YouTube videos, Marty Schwartz, um, Marty Guitars.
Yep.
Um, I actually recently learned that Cassius Culpepper, he's like an up-and-coming country Americana
Oh, yeah.
artist. He was doing an interview. I think he was doing an interview with Reese Palmer, and he was like talking about he learned to play guitar because he was in the military, and he was talking about watching Marty Guitars videos to learn how to play guitar.
I think that's this last generation's version of like, we're 80s babies. So that was Mel Bay books and videos were
Okay.
kind of the version of what Marty Schwartz is now.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So I would just because my son was at the age where like he could play in his playpen beside me and was entertained and I could just turn the TV on and pluck away and try. And I had a couple of friends that I would just record myself, do phone memos and record myself doing things and like, does this sound okay? Like, can you hear any progression in my playing?
I know that feeling.
And just started like putting lyrics to things that I was playing. I had found a chart that had like chord progressions on it and would just kind of experiment with like, oh, these are like standard chord progressions. Like what can I add in or change here? Where can I move a capo to change it up?
I love a good
Yeah.
capo.
Yeah.
It's his favorite tool.
That's it. You,
Yes.
you can
So
write
that's where
150
my
songs.
playing started. I had been a lyric contributor to other songs, so I'd been a co-writer before, but hadn't sat down and written my own song start to finish until 2020.
So when do you get brave enough to walk on stage with a guitar?
End of 2021, when things were starting to open back up here, there was a local venue that was having a benefit show it's called Cat's Cradle. It's a nonprofit that rehomes just cats. And they made a post saying that they were looking for people to contribute their time and just do like a 30-minute set of mostly original music. And I saw the date that it was for, and I was like looking at the list of songs that I had written. I was like, well, I guess this is going to be like a test. I can sign up to do this, and either I will be prepared and do it, or I won't. And yeah, so I reached out, and the person who was booking it, he had known me from singing in cover bands for a while. And he just said yes, like he didn't even ask, for like material or anything like that, which was great. And I went, and it's funny because like I wasn't great at standing and playing guitar, so I was maybe like I might have been the only person who like sat and played guitar, but I was sitting and I had my iPad stand there so I could like see all my lyrics because I was like I wasn't sure if since it was the first time that I had played out in front of people and like singing and playing, if I would get nervous and like forget something. So like I could, sing all day long with my eyes closed, hands tied behind my back, but like at that point this was a really big step for me. So
Yeah. It's it's tricky because I remember, I was 14 when I played my first show, and it's a really like harrowing moment to be able to walk on stage. And even if there are, I think my first show there were five people in the audience, and probably, two of them were my parents. So, uh,
They definitely were.
it's scary to figure out how to do these things and remember these things, and like how to fight the anxiety that's like 80% of your body and the fun that's like 20% of your body at the same time. It's a crazy experience.
I have so much respect. I've danced in front of so many people. I can speak. I can get up and not know anything at all about the subject and give a speech in front of thousands of people. But for some reason, when I get up to sing in front of people, it is like my voice gets stuck somewhere around in like my ass. It's not even up here. It's like in my asshole. And although I can sing, I all of a sudden, it's like I don't even have air anymore. It's the weirdest thing. I can do all sorts of things on stage. I could probably have an easier time being naked on stage than like singing to my full
Singles
potential.
OnlyFans, I guess, coming at some point in the future.
Yeah, well, after our daughter turns 18, I've been sworn off of OnlyFans until at least then. She said not through her high school days, but I have more respect for singers. I mean, I've done like a couple open mics when I was in college and stuff, and that was the most terrifying. It was the most naked I've ever felt in my entire life. And I've stood in front of groups of like seventh and eighth graders who are brutal in their
Yeah.
honesty of every single thing about you,
Yeah.
every moment. But singing in front of people, I have more respect for artists.
Well, and I think that's actually a great segue because uh, you don't necessarily conform to the normal country style.
No.
Which I love. Oh, it's just
you are
beautiful.
not the the prototypical looking country singer. I was telling Courtney this morning, I kind of see you as like the one of the riot girl of country music of these days. It's and frankly, the Americana world right now, the uptick in incredible female artists who stopped giving a shit about conforming to whatever country music is supposed to look or sound like is amazing.
It's just giving me life.
Was that tricky when you were starting, being that you are just you're you and wholly you every day?
Yeah. I uh I mean, there are definitely times where people will say or do things that upset me or I don't love, or they're just being an ass. And, I have to remind myself that those things are more about who they are and not who I am, and that it's not okay and that I don't have to allow it or just accept it. Um, when I first started playing out and like putting music out, I did still have hair at that point. So I wasn't dealing with like the bald tattooed head aspect, but my whole life, I mean, I am very much a physical representation of my Chamorro Pacific Islander heritage, and I was raised in rural Virginia. So, there was not anyone who looked like me where I grew up. So I'd already dealt with that a lot. And not to say that I'm perfect at like handling those things when people say or do things. But I was already kind of used to that, and I've had a I've had a lot of my life be a product of like being told that I can't do something or I shouldn't do something. And it's probably a combination of like neurodiversity and being a Taurus, um, and just like my upbringing and family makeup, that I just don't deal with that very well, in the sense that like I'm probably gonna do it just to prove you wrong.
Yes.
I'm one of those, you tell me no and then watch what happens.
Yeah, like I'm gonna make you eat your words.
100.
And so that definitely helped me. I have a really supportive husband partner, um, who also is not just supportive, but knows that I'm a very independent person. He's a tattooer by trade. I'm a singer, songwriter. And so he gets being an artist, and he also gets the importance of, having your own identity. We are our own businesses in a sense when it comes to like running our creatives. And he is very supportive, but also knows that like this is my thing, and he has never even made an attempt to try and like step in and steer it in any way,
Awesome.
unless I'm like, hey, I've got this thing going on. Can I like bounce some ideas, or can you help me problem solve something? Which I feel like is huge. And yeah, so when I started like playing out, I people have said to me like, you're not country. Why do you choose to play country? All this shit, and it's just like, if you don't get it, you don't get it, and that's not my problem. It's yours. But then I remember I told the band, um, at practice, that I was like, I need to talk to everybody about something. It's like kind of serious, but also not serious. But I'm gonna shave my head and get it tattooed. I have androgenic alopecia,
Mm.
so I still grow hair, but I'm like I'm very like bald on the top, especially when it's longer, and then like on the sides, I'm pretty bald. And I was just having a really hard time dealing with that mentally. And again, was like, well, I'm already really heavily tattooed. So instead of just like staring at baldness and like, the emotional weight that I was dealing with, I was like, I'm just gonna shave my head and tattoo it. And that way, if I ever want to grow my hair out, instead of like baldness, I'll just have like this beautiful tattoo underneath.
I love that.
Thank you. And
It's
so
beautiful.
And so I like told the band that I was gonna do this. I was like, I don't want anybody to think like I'm having like a mental breakdown. It's not like a Britney Spears moment. Like there is a plan in place, but it's probably going to be shocking to a lot of people. And yeah, so and they were great and very supportive and just like, you know, I've had discussions with band members about like because I'm pretty much covered head to toe now. And
Ah,
so
the perks of having a partner who's a brilliant artist.
he's done several of my tattoos, but I've met a lot of great people because of him. But I've said, we're gonna be in this place where people might stare at me or like might seem shocked by my appearance. And I my go-to is unless it becomes a problem for me to feel comfortable in a space, I usually just try to ignore it. And so my bandmates are very supportive and protective of me and, checking in about how I'm doing, if I need any extra XYZ. And so that's great. Um, and as far as like stepping further into the country space, Americana space, I feel like I have a lot of support just across, especially across the East Coast. I mean, I came
Yeah.
out to Seattle, Portland in December and made a lot of great friends and community, which just continues to grow. Um, but I also work really hard, and I don't think that anybody can come away from a show and be like, she isn't a great performer and her songs aren't good like it,
No,
it's kind
that's
of I put everything I can into it and I work my ass off and um
And
yeah.
obviously, hey, People Magazine noticed.
Yeah.
well,
that
you're
was
doing a
that was pretty
wonderful
wild.
job.
That was
Uh,
pretty wild.
I mean, how does that feel? And I know it's obviously just the last couple days, but like, how does it feel to, to have spent the last almost decade, working at something you absolutely love and getting to, go down to Laurel Canyon and play this great festival and then see your face show up in a People magazine
It
article.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
I was very surprised. I didn't not cry. Yeah,
Oh,
I was sitting on the couch and my son was going to bed and it was like we kind of like alternate bedtime shifts. Um and I had done all of my duties for bedtime and so my husband and Ripley were in the bedroom like doing the rest of it. And so it was really quiet in the house. And I just happened to open Instagram, and Chris had the writer of the article. He had tagged me in a video that he had shared like that weekend, and I went to his profile as I do with everybody who tags me in something, and I was just like, "Oh, who is this?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, he writes for People," and read some of his articles and like thanked him for sharing the video of us playing our musical moonshine set. And he was very kind and said that we were great. And I didn't think anything else of it. And so then Tuesday evening, when I was sitting on the couch, everything was quiet in the house, and I opened up and he had tagged me in something. I was like, oh, he just like shared another video of us playing. And then I went to it and I was like, oh, fuck. This is an article. Cool. And then I like kept scrolling. I'm like, oh, that's a picture of me. And like he actually said something about like me and the band specifically. It's
Yeah.
not just like here's everybody who played. And I'm getting chills like talking about it now.
I know
It's
I literally have
amazing.
goosebumps. I'm so happy
Yeah,
for you.
thank you. Yeah, and so I just like it wasn't like a boo-hoo kind of cry. It was just like my eyes welled up and
Yeah.
I
Well, yeah, it's
teared
like
and
overjoy.
yeah, it
Work
was
so
like
hard.
yeah, you work so hard to connect with people through, at least I do, to connect with people through your songs and your music. Like I said,
Yeah.
it's easier for me to connect with people through songs and performance than it is like just direct in the crowd. And so for someone to be moved by that song, Payday Loans, which is a pretty heavy song in and of itself. And then with our performances to put it on that platform amongst all of these other amazing performers who I love and admire so much. Um, and with Laurel Cove, I mean, that's one of, if not the best festival I've ever played as far as like across the board. Um,
God, I want to
it
jump in
just
that
felt
pond
really
so badly.
meaningful and I felt really seen and appreciated for what I bring and contribute to our music community and beyond.
Ah, love that.
I love that for you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah,
It's
Amazing.
just,
absolutely.
It's so cool. It really like it is when I popped on Instagram the other day when I opened it up, I looked
he
at
was
Courtney, I was
so
like, oh my
excited.
gosh. Because it's so the little Twitter scene that was, from
Yeah,
pandemic to now, there is such a pretty solid handful of people who are really creating the next generation of country music. And
It's amazing to
it's
watch.
fascinating and it's so much fun. And I'm so excited every time that I see you take that next step or anybody that's been just working their ass off for these last several years who finally gets that glimpse of, oh, here's that next stage and more
yeah,
ears can hear you. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
Absolutely.
one of the things that I do is I'm listening to every artist that we have on music is I listen for a song that I could use in the classroom as a lesson, and there were so many choices with your catalog. It was wonderful. But one of the songs that I loved was the song "The Devil,"
Okay.
and I really liked this song a lot. So
Thank
the
you.
lesson that I wrote was called "Eat Your Cake." And the purpose of the lesson that I do in the classroom with this would be to find idioms and look at their meanings with this song, which I thought would be really fun with students. So I'd start by playing the song with students and have them have a copy of the song and then play it. And their purpose while listening would be to identify some idioms while they hear them. And then making sure that we define that for our listeners, of course. But then have them look at what idioms do they find, what do they mean, and then have them start looking at what other idioms do they know, brainstorming a big list so that they have those to draw from. And then write a story or a poem using six of those idioms from the list. So creating based on kind of being inspired by your song, create their own story or poem. And so I wrote my own inspired by that. And so mine's called Cake. And here's kind of the visual. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
We'll send these over to
And
you right
we'll send
after.
it to
Yes,
you.
please. I love this so much.
So mine's called Cake, and it says, keep your chin up. Being no one's cup of tea is never easy. So throw caution to the wind and steal all the thunder. The water is hot, so be careful where you land. You've been biting those bullets so long, your words bite your tongue too. Get out of this frying pan. Girl, you are the fire. The knife in the back is just a drop in the ocean because once in a blue moon, the method to your madness makes the world turn. Have your cake and eat it. Enjoy.
Yes.
Thank you. So that was my lesson
Yeah.
I do in the classroom with kids.
And what's always fun is now that Courtney's not in the classroom anymore, but I still am. And as I move over from middle school to high school, some of the songs that I can use become a little bit easier. So I get to use these lessons with my students. So that's always exciting to see how that pans out. Because you find a lot more, like I said at the very beginning, you find a lot more students actually want to learn if it feels like them and sounds good uh,
And
and
there's a connection with music. So
and
Yeah.
your music is perfect for that. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Um,
Absolutely.
this
and
was such a joy.
yeah, and
Thank you.
we look forward to when you come back through Portland next time. We'll make sure it is marked on the calendar, and we are in attendance, and we cannot wait to watch you your career just explode over the next little while here.
Thank you so much. And thank you for asking me to do this.
Oh, absolutely! I'm
Well,
so
thank you for
excited to have you
accepting.
on. So no, this is so much fun. So thank you, and I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You
And
all
we,
do the same.
all right, bye
Have a
bye.
wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that's CASSINGLES.